Hello everyone. Welcome back. Good morning. I hope you're doing great. Welcome to Field Tripping. I was getting some work done in the greenhouse this morning, and I thought, you know what, let's take a quick break. I want to show you a project that I completed years ago with some of the first students that I had. It's actually out in our parking lot. You wouldn't think, but we have one of the most beautiful gardens in the middle of our parking lot, in the middle of a little neighborhood here in Sacramento. And so it actually, I would say, is one of the most beautiful parking lot island gardens. You know, the islands you see in parking lots. This one, when we first got there, or when I came to school, it was empty. It was dirt, just hard pan, a lot of clay, tons of weeds, just dead plants. Tons, and the only plants that were in there were just seasonal weeds that would grow up and have to be, trimmed down. It was a mess, right? The irrigation system was blown out. There was a lot of problems, and really, it was just sat there for the first year or two or three that I was here. And I noticed when we were doing other projects, I'm like, hey, that parking lot leaves a lot to be desired. We don't have that many islands. I think it might even be, it's like one of two islands, and actually we ended up doing both. But today I'm going to show you our primary island because it is looking good. It's got a lot of different plant varieties in there that we can look at, talk about. If you're looking for plant suggestions for your garden or just to get some ideas, this garden is kind of Mediterranean in style. We do have a tree in there, and then we have a lot, everything's perennials. And so we actually have a lot of things that bloom, bring in pollinators. You'll see. Let's go take a look. Well, there she is. This is our parking lot island garden that I'm super proud of. Like I said, when we started, and it was so many years ago, probably about 9-10 years ago, we got a grant to pull whatever remaining plants were in there, all the weeds, and actually we ended up finding a massive stump from the previous tree that was there. It actually took us several weeks digging it out and cutting it for me and the students to get it finally removed. You can see we actually planted that tree there about, like I said, about 8 or 9 years ago, and that is a Quercus rubra. It's a red oak. It's beautiful. It's actually starting to get a good canopy on it. I've been doing some selective trimming on the bottom branches to make sure that the canopy starts a little bit higher, and then now it's starting to really branch out and get some lateral growth, which is fantastic because that's what we want here. We want that tree to get nice and big. It's already providing some shade, which you'll see here in a second. Before, this parking lot would just be full ripping hot sun. You can hear there's a lot of action in this neighborhood. There's cars driving by and people doing work. That's how it goes. But you can see we got a mixture of euphorbias. You can see the euphorbias blooming there, looking really good. They're super drought tolerant, which we love. And of course the Cape balsam. You saw some trailing rosemary there. We've got some salvia, right? Some hot lips. You know I love to use that. There's actually even some kangaroo paws in there. I think we have a couple different dwarf varieties hidden in there, and they're just kind of coming back for the season now that it's warming back up. Like I said, we have several different varieties of euphorb. Here's one that has a kind of a lighter colored leaf. It's hiding inside this trailing rosemary. That's the one thing that probably takes the most work out here, which isn't even that much, but it's to try to keep this trailing rosemary away from the parking lot right here, up off that curb. So if I did it again, I probably would have planted it further in, just a hair, because that's the one plant that probably requires a bit of maintenance, just to curb its growth, because it wants to trail out and keep going. But other than that, they bloom great, and the bees love it. Right here is a plant that we love growing here, just as you can see why. It's called coreopsis. I do believe it's native to North America, which is kind of cool. We've actually harvested their seeds before. If you're into seed harvesting, coreopsis is a fantastic one, because you can see they have tons of flowers, but then each flower will mature into a nice ripened little pod of seeds, and inside each pod could be hundreds of seeds. So it's you can get tons and tons of seeds to give away to your friends and family and replant. You can see we've got some like I said, Cape balsam here. That bulbine's looking good. Here I'll show you that we did add a drip system to it. So we found where the water was coming in, but there really wasn't a system in, and we ran a drip system all over this whole bed to bring water to our plants, and it's hooked into a timer, which is great. And so when we're not here in the summer, it's able to get a good solid drink of water, and all the plants do great. And so I just love this bed. I think it just turned out fantastic. Like I said, we're about 9 years in the making here. Tree's probably about well over 20 feet tall now, or close to it. So I'm really enjoying that it's starting to take off. It's just, like I said, it was an empty lot. It was just hard dirt, just clay, weeds. Now that the upkeep is relatively low, like I said, we have to just trim off the sides, and we do get a little bit of help from the maintenance guy if we're off season, because I noticed it gets trimmed a little bit, which I appreciate totally. And so how fantastic is this little bed right here? I mean, do you like it? I mean, there are some changes that we could probably add a few things, but I don't really want to add too much and disturb the roots of this tree, because ultimately that tree we want to do really well and mature up and just kick butt. Oh, I'm sorry, kick buns. And it already is. So I'm really stoked about it. You can see back in the foreground there, or back there in the background actually, you can see that's where our orchard is. But anyhow, I just wanted to share this with everybody and show you guys, hey, it's like, you know, even something as simple as a parking lot island can be something that you can enjoy. And hopefully maybe you can find spaces where you live, in your community, in your home, or wherever, where you can collaborate with people to maybe beautify it and bring some great plants and trees to that area. Because you know what, like I said, we did it 8-9 years ago. The students who did it, they're not even getting to really see it yet unless they drive by. Although when they do, I'm sure they're super stoked. But the whole point is that sometimes you have to do something great now, or decent now, and then you get to others will benefit from it. Well, not too shabby, I think. I think it turned out quite nice. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this video, please dig into that like button and smash upon the subscribe button so you can come back for more garden adventures. I'd love to show off and take you on more garden tours of some landscapes that we've worked on, and maybe some ones that we haven't worked on. But there's always something new to learn, and I'm ready to learn it. So from our garden tours, happy gardening, best wishes. Take care now. Bye-bye then.